Okay, I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are incredibly frustrated with trying to get people involved in their wellness programs. They are increasing incentives, they're creating all the bells and whistles, it's bringing up some of the participation rates, but they're still not happy with the results. And that's because I think your total population isn't engaged. And engagement is when they're completely immersed in it, when they're excited about it, when they're sharing it, when they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, even in the cafeteria, everybody's talking about it and everybody's excited. And of course, that's what we want. So why is it that only the healthy people are involved in this program? Well, it's because that's who we're marketing to. And I tell people all the time, look, if you don't think that you're selling wellness, I don't know what to tell you, because you're trying to change behaviors. So we're trying to inspire and motivate. Well, we can't motivate and inspire people based on what I believe and what my values are. We've got to work on understanding the people who are in front of us in our population. Look, people, we have lots of studies out there, but unfortunately, none of us are listening. The book Drive, it tells us incentives have a limited capability, that that's not really where we want to be. Making it stick, another book that tells us this. There's so many new books out there and going through the research showing us that the way we're doing it isn't working. And the reason is because we're talking about what we want and not looking at what they want. So we're going to go right back into the basics of what is behavioral change and how can we do this. And the great thing about it is once you know this, you can do so many cool things with this, and it's a lot of fun for everybody, and you're going to get re-inspired to do your work again, and you're not going to feel upset and bummed out because you can't get people involved in your program no matter how hard you try. I know, I see it every day. I get phone calls every day. Dees, how can we do this? So what I want to do is provide this video for everyone. It's real simple. It's back to the basics, gives you an understanding of where I begin the work and how I get people involved and engaged, going back and looking at true behavioral change. And the very first place that we need to start is that individual. Many times what I'm hearing from, especially health coaches, and most likely health coaches who don't have any kind of background in counseling psychology or positive psychology, who really love practicing their craft, which is dietetics or even medical doctors. They love their craft, but unfortunately not everybody does. So we've got to discover ways that we can bridge that gap between what I value and what that person sitting in front of me values. And what I'm finding for most people, the hardest thing to understand is that's called validation. And you don't have to be in agreement to validate somebody. You can validate them and say, I understand that's what you believe. I understand that's where you're coming from. That doesn't mean that you are in agreement. You need to take your belief systems and your behaviors and your attitudes out of the picture if you really want to help that person sitting in front of you. And you can do this for total population as well. This works for just not on just one-on-one, but also in group environments. The way we communicate, the way we develop our programs, the way that we offer the culture, what kind of culture we have in our environment, and also the relationships between co-workers and the supervisors all make a huge difference in how you bring this message to your total population. So it works one-on-one and it works also in groups. So let's start with the very first thing that we need to get an understanding and get a grip on is is it worth it and what's in it for me? This is the first thing that they're thinking about. Think about yourself. Think about when somebody's pushing something onto you. How about politics? Hot topic today. How about you have a specific belief system? Are we really able to listen to somebody else who has a completely different belief system? Who is, maybe you're for Obama and they're for Mitt Romney and they're trying to tell you how great and wonderful he is and it's boiling your blood. Well, this is happening in our wellness programs because so many times the wellness programs are set up for the healthy, so the unhealthy feel excluded. They're not a part of it. And that's one of the big drivers of engagement, is a sense of belonging. So you've already have removed them from this process. So they don't see what's in it for them. They don't see the worth. They don't see the value. Because most of the time we're showing the corporate value, and the wellness value, and the cost-saving value, but we're not talking about the value for this individual. So we have to pinpoint what their values are. Well, you could say, well, Denise, most of the time their value is to sit on a sofa or not get involved. No, that's not true. That really isn't their value. And when I hear people mind reading for others, I know there's a real disconnect and a real problem, because we're making assumptions, which we all know where that leads. What you need to do is start asking questions to find out where this value is. Because then the next step of that is, are they capable? Most often, maybe they find value in your program, maybe they see the worth of it. Trust me, no one wakes up in the morning saying, wow, I think today I'm going to be completely miserable. I think I'm going to not even try to eat healthy. I don't care. I don't care that I'm overweight. I don't care if I'm fat. I don't care. I don't really believe that. I don't believe people wake up intentionally wanting to be miserable and unhealthy. I just think that they either don't find worth in it, they don't see how it's worth for them, or bigger yet, they're not capable. Look at the wellness programs that you have. Do they look difficult? Are they difficult? You know, are they creating what I call a barrier? Maybe you set up barriers that you don't know that you did. Or how about belief systems, attitudes? I mean, it fits for this too, which makes it a part of their capability. I am capable of doing this. Take a segment from any infomercial. Look at any of them. And I hear people say, well, this is unethical and it is manipulating. And I say, no, it's not. It's not manipulating. That's their job. They're marketers. This is a free America. And I love that they're doing this. And I wish that we would do more, at least follow the concepts that they have. What do? How do they make people feel like they're capable? How do they get millions of people to get up off that sofa and buy that Sensa? Yeah, part of it's the magic pill effect. But they also show them that they're capable. How do they do that? They do it with testimonials. Now, I know some people are using these, but we're not using them in the right way. We're not using testimonials where this person is giving what their value is and how they felt capable, which then brings us to choice. That every day we have a choice, and that choice, let's change colors here, is temporary. It's temporary. It's not permanent. Because when somebody feels like they're in a permanent state, guess what? You're cut out from all of that. And you can go no longer in affecting them, influencing them, and changing that behavior. When they have these choices and they feel capable and they find the value in it, then there's a whole other process. There's two more steps we need to go into, which we don't have time for today. But if you don't have any of this, which all of this stems into feelings, which is why I call my program Emotions, Engagement in Motion. We're talking about moving forward motion, and we're talking about feelings. Feelings take us into emotions, which take us into action. And I can't get here if I don't know about that. So most often, we're not asking the right kinds of questions to find out what is worth it for them, do they feel capable, and what kind of choices are they being presented with. Make sense? If you just begin here my friends, I think you're going to find that you are able to move a little bit forward in your program. Now, obviously, again, this is just the first couple steps to it, but it's the foundation of the work that I conduct. I can't do anything without knowing a lot of this. So it's, you got to start asking the right kinds of questions. You got to start looking at your programs. You got to start evaluating it. If you're not sure how to do that, I have a real quick, simple 10-minute assessment for managers. It's going to help you break those down, take a look at them, so that you can see where maybe you have some leaks in the system, where maybe you could, that you're losing people, that you could gain some true engagement, momentum in those areas. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. It's a free program. Just go to the website, download it. If you have any questions, email me. Oh, and once you do download that, you're also registered for a lot of these free videos where we go into more depth into what does that look like, how do you do it, how do you cross over barriers, how do you deal with beliefs and attitudes, how do you make people feel capable, how do you show value, and then what kind of choices are you offering so that all of this ties in nicely and that you can do a complete rollout. Or with whatever you have now. This works for if you're brand new, just getting started. If you have a program and it's kind of faltering and you don't know where to go with it, or let's just say you have a really robust program and you're just not happy with the engagement numbers that you have. It works for all these levels. All right, well, thanks for your time, and I guess I'll see you on the other side.